I'm the rap game's financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got an 808s with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Invest in the crypto, watch it all unfold. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to play. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. Turning stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Rated Arrow, and we are back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. Back in the lab. Been an ugly week. Before we talk about how ugly it actually has been, we are going to jump into the shoutouts. First and foremost, we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show and the platform, Delta Investment Tracker app. If you're not using it, there's a link down in the description below in the comments. Not in the comments, in the description. Oh, sorry about that. That lets them know that you found them via me. There's nothing special in it for me. I don't get a kickback from that. My kickback is the show sponsorship. So I get a premium, all the premium features. I get to get into the back end, test out, poke around, find out if it's worth it. I've decided that it is very much worth it. And yeah, it's solid, definitely worth a look. Easy way to get live updates with the premium features. A lot of back-end news, gives you the news as it's coming in. A lot of other metrics, data. They track your decisions to let you know if you're on a good trajectory or a bad trajectory. Right now, I'm apparently the dumbest investor on the planet when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because when the market goes down, all the decisions are bad. But also, we want to give a shout out to the families over in the Discords that I'm a part of. If you want access to me, it has to be done via a Discord. There are two ways to do that. One is shout out to the Bag Chasers. That is not my Discord. That is Anton of AntonDaniels.com's Discord. And then the second one is Circa 84, which is another private Discord, both of which have links down in the description below. Both of them get this the day of recording. As soon as I'm done, put together the thumbnail, upload it, put it over in the Discords. They get it first, 72 hours before everybody else. Should you want that early access, we're definitely going to be doing that. And we are kicking around the idea of piecing together a Discord. And if we do something like that, then we might, if it's a paid Discord, we will have, like if I do a Patreon paid Discord thing, if there's a pay involved in it, the value is going to be that I will start doing these recordings live. And so I will start scheduling them. We'll get like definitive times. I do them every Sunday. And I'll start doing all my shows. So that'd be future financial strategies, crypto portfolio updates. I'll do them live so that way I can answer questions along with the show. And it'll be obviously private. It'll be unlisted live, and it'll be for the people who are within the Patreon or the Discord. So that way you guys can get your questions answered in that live setting. It won't be for everyone. It'll be for just us. And then we'll move forward with something like that. As the numbers are going up, we're getting closer to 500. And that's one of the things that I want to roll out once the channel is monetized. So we'll have a membership on the channel, and all tiers will have access to those live streams, and we'll just switch around how we're doing that. If this is your first time here, shout outs, Reckless Rated Arrow, a little backstory on me. Been in the crypto game for over 10 years now, but 10 years solid, active in the markets. I test things. I've made money, lost money, messed around, found out some things, figured out a little bit of game. And then I just share what's going on with my portfolios, normally with an additional topic like what we have tonight. We also have little piece on the news blurps. But the intent of this show is a documentation of my journey through the crypto sphere. All of these shows are kind of having a focus of my journey to $1 million in net worth and the moves that I'm making to be able to get there. This one's crypto specific. Future Financial Strategies is literally everything else. Like all the TradFi, all the experimental stuff is over there. And, you know, we're documenting the journey, answering some questions from my perspective, because obviously I'm not at the coveted mountaintop yet. Even when I hit $1 million in net worth, that's not going to be enough, because apparently you're broke until you have $10 million. So after that, I still got another 10 to go, another 9 to go. But we're documenting the grind, documenting what goes on. And so this specifically, I'm showing how portfolios are built out. This is not a hype channel. I do not really delve into specific projects or any of those things. This is teaching you how to fish. You guys can go do your own research and find your own projects that you're very gung-ho about and want to be a part of, and join those communities and gung-ho for them. If we touch on stuff, it's a very bland surface layer thing of what we've got going on, but it's my ideology on how I build out a portfolio and how I navigate it, good and bad. We have all the fun is going to be shared either way, especially right now, because it's definitely bad. So let's jump into the show. So we're going to start off with our opener. Got to get me small on the screen. And we're jumping in. First thing we're going to note is Bitcoin dominance is at 51.3%. Ethereum dominance is down a little bit at 16.4%. And Ethereum gas right now is sitting at 3 Gwei. Sundays seem to be the day to make moves on Ethereum. Like if we're gonna make trades, every time I'm recording, Ethereum gas fees are on the floor. And it seems to be every Sunday because I do this show on Sundays. So that's something interesting. The next thing we're going to note is the top 3 trending coins per CoinGecko. Shout out to CoinGecko. Top 3 trending coins are Spike. No idea what that is. Notcoin. They've been up here before. Toncoin. Also been up here before. Now we're jumping over into the top 5 gainers and losers. This kind of gives us a look at how the market is moving. We can see what the dips look like, what the spikes look like. And since we're recording on a Sunday, it looks like we're seeing the aftermath. This is very like this for the bull run, which we are in, people. This is sideways action. These look like retracements. But I digress. We'll start off with the gainers. At number 1 at rank 877, we have School Hat Coin, SHC, with a gain of 56.6%. At number 2, we have at rank 898, Stephen Green Satoshi token on Solana, GST-SOL, SOL, with a gain of 33.8% in the last 24 hours. Number 3, we have at rank 816, Undead Games, UDS, with a gain of 29.5% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, at rank 164, we have Stats Ordinals, SATS, with a gain of 23.1% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, last but not least on the top 5 gainers, we have at rank 944, Vara Network, VARA, with a gain of 17.7% in the last 24 hours. Now, we are jumping over to the top losers in the last 24 hours. And we are starting off with, at rank 429, Andy ETH, ANDY, with a loss of 33.1% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have at rank 925, Geo Bowden, BODN, with a loss of 27.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, at rank 733, we have Landwolf, WOLF, with a loss of 25.5% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 814, we have Zencoin, ZYN, with a loss of 23% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, last but not least, we have Michi, $MICHI, with a loss of 22.4% in the last 24 hours. Let me get these last updates here so I can turn this off. Okay, moving on to the portfolio. We're going to have a conversation about that. It's looking ugly. On the day, we are down 4.3% in the last 24 hours. That sucks. Overall, we are down 11.7%. Also sucks. We're just looking at maximum carnage in the markets right now. There's not really much to say about it. We got Bitcoin fighting in the 50s. People think we can go down to 50, maybe touch 49. I don't know about all that. I never know what's going to go on in the market. I don't divine the tea leaves, because there's always an external reason, for some odd reason, before the bull run that makes everybody leave the market. And when I say I've seen this before, I've seen this before. I've gone through this before. I'm kind of just numb to it now. Like, you just take the blows, and it's like, as long as nothing collapsed that had my money sitting on it, whatever. Like, I don't have the energy for it in that regards anymore. But let's go ahead and jump into the portfolio and go ahead and go down the list. Again, we're leaving off Lido staked Ether and all the dollar stables because they don't actually count. At number 1, we have Solana SOL. At number 2, we have Ethereum ETH. At number 3, we have Injective INJ. At number 4, we have Osmosis OSMO. At number 5, we have Thorwallet DEX TGT. At number 6, we have Wrapped Bitcoin WBTC. At number 7, we have Camelot Token GRAIL. At number 8, we have Akash Network AKT. And at number 9, we have Celestia TIA. And last but not least, we have Radium RAY. Moves that we made this week, we bought a little bit of Bitcoin. And with that, that's a good segue into our conversation topic. We like to squeeze that into the middle and then close out with the news clips with my hot takes on what's going on in the news. So we bought some Bitcoin, and that's all we did. The reason being is because my portfolios, again, across the board, are all tied together now. And I had to do some cleanup in my traditional finance portfolio, meaning that there are some redundancies in that portfolio, and there's a couple of positions that are in that portfolio. Well, actually, there's just one. There's one position in that portfolio, which was one that I'm super hype about. I really like that position, and I will be utilizing that position specifically for my family fund for my niece to have live in that portfolio for this year, for rounding out the rest of the positions in that portfolio. And that's the YBTC position. Why is there redundancy there? I buy Bitcoin. It's the first thing. So I buy Bitcoin regularly. And then I have that, which is a covered call based on Bitcoin. And it has the potential some months to really exceedingly perform. When we're on an upward tear, it overperforms. It performs so well. Issue being, when we're not, and you're having volatility on the downward side, it performs like garbage. And so having that be my first position, like, not only did I take a hit and a loss on that position, it was redundant with my portfolio, which has Bitcoin in it that's being bought all the time anyways. So what I am switching that position specifically out for will be a Bitcoin futures, most likely a Bitcoin Ethereum mixed futures, because the futures market, you get benefit on both sides. Covered calls, you only get benefit on one way, volatility up. But futures, they can go either way. And so I think there'll be more utility in my income portfolio, because it is still, every position in there except for one is very much crypto tied. So, like, we lost across the board anyways, but I was like, the straight Bitcoin position, I was like, this doesn't make sense in this portfolio specifically. So with that said, that's what we're doing with that. Actually, I'm probably going to transfer the funds that I need to round out that portfolio over as soon as I get. Yeah, we're going to do that. As soon as I get done, we're doing that. So with that said, that's what we did. We just bought some Bitcoin. I am looking at doing a little bit of consolidating and trimming out of some of my positions down into things that I am very excessively bullish, excessively long on at this point. I'm looking honestly at this juncture, just with the way that the market is, I am looking at consolidating a lot down into Solana. Like I am considering that as well as a potential for what we could be doing moving forward. I want to throw some more over into that pool since we're having a retracement. And obviously Solana is still performing the best. With that said, like even still, it's like that's my best performer, highest position. So like I can't complain about that. I got a grip of money over in their ecosystem. It's doing what other alts do, but Solana somehow is just sticking this out in the best possible fashion. So we're gonna consider moving that over because you definitely want to let your winners win and you want to win hard with them. And I feel like that could be a good win. But that aside, like other positions we're looking, I mean, everything's looking amazing right now. Celestia is down in everything's in load the boat range as far as I'm concerned. Like the Grail, I won't be buying more of that because like that position is just what it is. And we bought at sort of around these ranges, I think, like somewhere down there. Superverse, though, I am looking at throwing some more into Superverse. That's for sure. Because we're continuing to dip and we're trying to get income so that we can get some more money coming back into this market. I'm almost, honestly, because my traditional finance portfolio is performing really well, even with the hit and even with the reallocation. Like the reallocation that we did moving into the month of, what month is it? June? Yeah, month of June. Or no, month of July. Jeez, we just switched over. I keep forgetting. Getting into July. With the reallocation, we're probably going to be beating out, provided based on last month's numbers, obviously, because that's the way it calculates everything. But based on last month's numbers, like the reallocation that we've done in that portfolio, it's potentially going to beat out my income strategy that I've got going in my crypto portfolio. And I'm like, if I'm fighting this level of volatility, because while the crypto market is being destroyed, the traditional finance market getting destroyed is nothing like what the crypto market getting destroyed is. The numbers go down a lot less. So I'm like, man, I almost would prefer to have like a grip of that money over in the traditional income portfolio and just buy back those positions throughout the year off of that. But we're leaving everything where it is for right now. We might do a little bit of condensing. We got some positions that we're waiting for unlocks on. But that aside, I'm looking at the market. Everything's for sale. So I've got to go hunt down all the cash, the available dollars that I have, like, and figure out what we're going to zero in on. Because I'm going to probably just pick a position and be like, cool, I'm just going to buy this up and just continue to like fill the boat on that while stuff is down. And I probably won't do that with Sol specifically, especially not with like the income generated, but we'll do something else with the income generated. But Solana, like if I'm buying into the market at this point, like I'm looking at getting Solana for the bull run. Like it's just performed so well. And like the upside when the market's doing well, money floods back into it. At least from what I've been seeing, this like it's other stuff is just abysmal. Like Injective, abysmal. Like this is a supreme load the boat, load the bag, fill the boat, do something. Like it's wild the way that this is looking right now. Another one, Osmosis, in load the boat range. Akash Network, load the boat, fill it. Celestia, also extreme buy. Radium is actually performing well. My Radium positions have been great. My JLP position that I've been kind of funneling some stuff into also performing great. Arbitrum, another load the boat. Arbitrum's looking great. Superverse, load the boat. This is lower than when I bought in, and that was a 300% coin. So we've definitely got some more upside on that, and we're not done yet. Synapse, well below what I bought in on. Immutable X, we're still buying on that. I mean, there's so many of these, like Synthetics Network. This is a great buy range for that if you were looking to get in. Dimension, also really good buy range. Gamma Strategies, that one's kind of, I'm treating that like I'm not treating it like a meme coin, but like it's super volatile. But like I saw it have some like over 24-hour really crazy pops on it. It's a underlying protocol. A lot of stuff in the DeFi space use it. It's living on Ethereum, which kind of, actually, it doesn't kind of suck. It does suck. But another one where like easy buy, Thor Chain Rune, might be picking some of that up also during this dip. Like there's just so much stuff to buy. It's crazy. But again, so the other reason that we wanted to trim out that Bitcoin position was because I have instituted a Bitcoin standard for my personal finances. And so what does that mean? Because I did another video where we're talking about it. And now that I've actively started doing it, what it's going to look like for me is basically what that is it's kind of, I'm looking at Bitcoin specifically, Bitcoin only, not the cryptocurrency space, not the other positions, Bitcoin specifically as the reserve asset for my finances. Like I'm putting my finances into a Bitcoin standard. Like instead of having like a box with gold bars buried in the backyard and it's like, hey, I'm securing my wealth. The finances are looking really iffy. And regardless of what economic system I want to land in, especially since my goal is to not live stateside all year round. I want to be gone 3 to 6 months out of the year is my goal. That said, I have to be able to navigate and have wealth anywhere that I land. So in doing that, setting up a Bitcoin standard, that is a global standard. Like people will say, oh, you can go use dollars anywhere. Also true. But dollars are deflationary, especially in the United States. And this has to fit 3 metrics for me. It has to be very highly mobile, easy to move. Has to be permissionless. I don't want somebody telling me, hey, you can't bring that gold bar through customs. You can't land here with that gold bar. We're going to take it from you. My third one, permissionless. And third, non-confiscatable. Because why would you want to go set up somewhere and just have them rob you when you got there? Because then you're no longer wealthy. You got to start all over from scratch and you're stuck in their ecosystem. So for me, Bitcoin fits all those bills. That does not mean that I will be spending it, but as a reserve. So what does that mean? So when I get paid now, I'm looking at it the way that I look at the retirements that they sell you, because I'm not looking to retire at 65. I'm looking to retire before 65, which means we have to build as much wealth as possible that's accessible, that I can utilize, which would put, again, back under Bitcoin. Now, I am not keen on spending Bitcoin personally right now because I don't want to have to spend assets. The spending money is coming out of the income portfolio. We have a tool that we are developing for that as well. But every bit of income that comes in, 5%, depending on where it's coming from. So for my check right now, just instituting it right now with everything that I've got going on with my income coming from my W-2 check, 5% of that goes into Bitcoin. No questions asked. That's just what that Bitcoin buy is at that point in time. So there's always going to be something filtered into it. 10% of the income coming out of the income portfolio, though, is going to be going into the Bitcoin standard. And what that's going to do is it's a hedge, because once stuff gets into Bitcoin, I don't really spend it. We've got our house savings pool that we have set up. But outside of that, we're not spending anything else. Like as soon as we get it in there, we're sending it over to cold storage and it's gathering in that pool, and the wealth is just being built and stacking, and it's going up in value over the long term. Obviously right now it's in a down market, but those buys go deeper now because now I'm buying at 55, 54, 56, under 60, which is a great buy range for me anyway. My average buy-in, my dollar cost on that, we'll be tracking since I've instituted this in a portfolio, so that way we can track those buys too, because it'll be interesting. But like the house savings one, the average buy-in over there is like, it's like $37,000. Like we're still sitting good, still sitting above where we would have been. Is it above where we would have been if we would have just bought the S&P 500 or put it in another savings vehicle? The answer to that is probably not, considering how far down we are now and how far up, because the S&P is still sitting at above, like the S&P is not down. So that's going to is the volatility that you have to take, because when it spikes, when we're ready to utilize it, it's going to be a different conversation. Over the long term, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, different conversation. Now we are looking at being able to start some of this travel, some of this extended stay in other places within the next 2 years, barring any other calamities. Because like I seem to have got into this stage where I'm hurting myself. Not the funnest, but life does happen. So while we're sitting here focused on recovery, focused on moving things forward, we're getting our finances in alignment for where we're going. Now we have set up a lot of the foundational pillars to move ourselves forward, and a lot of the positions and the moves that you make when things are bad. Because I haven't sold out of any of my positions. Everything that's in my portfolio is in my portfolio. Like we just took the scrolling look. Those top 10 positions are where all the money's focused. We haven't sold anything, and if we're going to consolidate down, it's going to be within positions that we've already selected. Like I'm not chasing alpha at this point. I'm not necessarily looking for new positions unless I'm bringing new money into the market to do that with. But what's already in here, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I don't want to. I'm not chasing. Like I've got a solid portfolio. There's better buys now than when I got in. So now you're buying down your average buy-in. But instituting that Bitcoin standard will consistently, because I know I said that after Bitcoin gets to a certain price, we're going to stop funding money into that market. We were going to focus on the income portfolio. Well, we kind of already started focusing on the income portfolio, but this way, the foundation is still being built out as we're building that income portfolio to make sure that we don't have to touch the foundation. And that's the way that we're in this initial onset. Obviously, we experiment with stuff over here. So in the initial onset, that's what we're doing right now. Like we're just clipping the money where we can and making sure there's constant trickle, constantly adding to the Bitcoin holding, constantly stacking those sats. And this is coming from somebody who's already hit their Bitcoin target. Still, like I'm like, hey, like we need to just keep getting as much as we can. If it's going to the numbers that I believe that it's going to, then we need to. I'm like, like I hit my target, but like, why wouldn't you want more at that point? Why wouldn't you make it a standard part of your finances at that point? Like if you believe in where this is going and you're trying to get ahead of the ball, and it's not even about necessarily the belief. It's governments are buying, companies are buying. This is securing balance sheets for businesses. I don't think that I'm smarter than those people. So I'm gonna err and be like, cool. Like if we're gonna getting this little bit of extra money, 5 to 10%, depending on where the income's coming from, there's no reason for me to not replicate that on my personal balance sheet, because my finances are not as good as MicroStrategy's. My finances are not as good as Dell's. But I mean, they could be. We can start. This stuff all scales because it's not necessarily that 5 or 10% is these leaping amounts. It's not millions of dollars. I'm not buying whole Bitcoins. I'm buying fractions of Bitcoins. I'm buying Satoshis. But they add up. That's how I got the first Bitcoin. They add up. Like, it's not about making these Herculean efforts and wait until you have enough to buy a whole Bitcoin saved up and then go buy a whole Bitcoin. Like, the price on Bitcoin is ever rising. It's almost like saying you're going to save up cash right now to buy a house. Price is ever rising. Like, your target's running away from you. So like you're either super saving or something. And it's those small incremental buys where you do it consistently, where you have a plan, where you've instituted a Bitcoin standard within your household, whatever that is, and made that a part of it. And I'm not telling people to buy. This isn't financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. And so far, the way that I've been navigating within the crypto market has worked. Even when we have to go through these times and I got to sit here and look at red all over the place and my portfolio's down and all my portfolios are down and it's just ugly. Even then, this isn't something that you get to, that I'm in here for the one bull cycle. This is my third. So, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. My Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I'm not even planning on utilizing anything but what we have in the house savings for the home improvements. That's the only pool of Bitcoin that I'm planning on touching this year, because that was the intent. We're using it as a hyper accelerated savings, but I'm not in and out every bull cycle. Like, I don't cash out. I don't try to cash out at the top. I don't take profits. I don't do any of those things. Now, back in my day, I've been here for a while, you used to be able to leverage your Bitcoin, and I would do that going into a bull run. And that would be one of the ways that I utilize that, because I could take out loans, do what I needed to do, and then pay that back over time with dollars. And then I get to keep my Bitcoin. But until we get some option of that nature back in the US, I won't be utilizing it. Now, we've covered the Bitcoin standard. We're going to jump into the news, have a conversation about that. Did you not? There we go. There it is. Let's make me big for a second. I just want to check me out. Okay, cool. I like it. So we're going to jump into the news. Now, this is brought to you by Delta Investment Tracker app, powered by eToro. So shout outs to them for these quick hits and quick hit news. It's a too long didn't read headlines, and I give you my take on the article based on if I know anything about it or not. If it's something I don't know about, we go ahead and just, call it like it is. Say I don't know, give my 2 cents, whatever, and keep it pushing. The U.S. and German government sell seized Bitcoin. Is this surprising to anyone? Everyone's broke. Governments are broke. Companies are broke. There's no more easy money. We are in a macroeconomic crisis. Of course, they're gonna sell their seized Bitcoin because it's free money and you can use it to pay bills and get stuff done. So this isn't surprising. What's surprising is that everybody else is selling as well. And as I was looking through, I caught an article, again, too long didn't read headlines, but apparently Germany, after they sold and the price dropped, they bought some back. Something to think on. Like, while they're selling, they're also buying because the prices are low. So something to think on. These people do have bills. Like, people have bills. Like, there's people on here who sold at 70 because they said that was the top and it was over, which is fine. That was their thesis. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to buy stuff. They wanted to consume. People are going to do that. Me personally, the way that I view Bitcoin is different. So I personally don't. You might, whatever your financial situation is, finance is N of one scenario. And what that means is it's deduced down to the individual. No two individuals are necessarily going to be the same because they're going to have different situations on what's going on within those households. So yeah, I'm not one of those people who tells people to never sell. If you're going to sell out your Bitcoin, I say sell intelligently. Like, me personally, the way that I run my finances, I don't sell assets to buy stuff. That's not what I do. I don't save up a bunch in assets and be like, oh, I got a bunch in assets, I'm going to go buy some stuff. Now, if I can borrow against it, that's a different conversation. That's a conversation that I will do that. But I don't want to give up the asset in and of itself to go buy stuff. That's where I run into issue is that. But like certain people's situations, their understanding of finances, like that's fine. I don't know a bunch of wealthy people that do that are wealthy on the magnitude and level that I'm aspiring to. And so I'm just going to do what they do. I'm like, if there's another way to get money out, if I can just go make cheap dollars and go buy stuff, I'm not going to sell an asset to go buy stuff. I sell assets for assets. Now with Bitcoin, there's not a better horse to be in right now. There's not a faster horse on the track. So me selling Bitcoin makes no sense at this point because nothing's going to perform as well as under the current information that we have of the last 15 years. So for me, I won't sell it. For me, I don't like when I sold off the stuff in my portfolio to reallocate. I sold it to reallocate into other positions within my brokerage account. I did not sell it to go buy something. I did not sell it to go pay off a debt. I'd prefer to build an income vehicle to pay off the debt with dollars where I get to keep the vehicle after it's done. That's what we're currently doing. So I understand why these governments are selling. They're broke. They are broke. The economics are bad everywhere. These governments have stuff to get done. They have an asset that's been going up very well for them that they seized from people. They stole this stuff from people and got it for free. Of course you sell that. Of course you do. You know what I'm doing? Buying it. So I don't have to give it back to them. Like I'm just they're getting out of their positions because they need to, and I'm in a different position and I want to acquire. I want to have as much Bitcoin stacked as possible because that's what I'm looking at as the retirement account moving forward. That's what I'm looking at it as now. BTC trading levels hit all-time low post ETF approvals. Yeah, because people aren't giving, like, I mean, there's two people in this market right now. There are the people who are coming in that are new, that are trying to get rich tomorrow. Actually, okay, there's a few, and we'll go through all of them. There's people that are new that are coming in, that are trying to get rich tomorrow. Just grab them. Most of them are in meme coins, but some of them end up with some Bitcoin if they're smart. And then when the price goes down, they sell out of their position. And then when the price goes back up, they buy in at a worse position than what they sold at when they could have just held the Bitcoin and not sold it. There are people who are coming into the market that have guidance. They're tapped in with the reckless rated arrows. They're listening to the LEO trades. They're tapped in with the modern investor. And they got a little bit more sense than the people who are here 100% short term. They're trying to get rich tomorrow. So they understand this isn't a tomorrow deal. Like you're looking 5-10 years of a window to make a life-changing result. And honestly, I would dare say 4 years, depending on when you get in. Because like if you're hitting the cycles, like I came in to this market on a cycle, on a bull run cycle. So like my anniversaries are the cycles. Now, if you're in there and you're aligned with the cycles, if you're coming in on a Bitcoin bull run cycle like you are right now and you stay in the market, every 4 years you should be changing your life, in my opinion, if you're serious about it, if you're actually dedicated to what you're doing. Now, granted, me personally, my first 2 years were not good, but I stayed in. They weren't great. I mean, I had some results. I had enough result to keep me in the market. Like I didn't come in and lose everything and then just walk away with nothing. I came in and I could have walked away with way more, but I walked away with a lot less, but I walked away with more than what I came in with. So like, it's still a win. It's just not the greatest win. It doesn't feel good still because you have the perception of what you lost on paper. So those people, every 4 years, they should be making moves. Honestly, like I've said this before, like when I was able to purchase a house, when I was able to leverage the fact that I had plenty of money and I didn't need anything, and I was negotiating from a position of power to get a partnership within the company that I work for. A lot of stuff can happen in 4 years in crypto. Like that is not unrealistic. especially if you're tapped in doing the social media stuff. If you get in a good back channel is worth money. I tell people that all the time. Like, if you're in a good back channel where you're getting some alpha, where you have people that are grouped together that are getting alpha, because it's not necessarily getting alpha from one person. Like, if you're in a back channel and it's just you waiting for whoever the guru of the back channel is to tell you what you're supposed to be doing, and like that no one else in the channel is talking, that's not a good back channel. And I'll tell you that straight up. What happens is, it's great when you have a bunch of people that are active to talk over positions together. That's when you get the best results. So those things are worth money. I pay to be in back channels. I'm actively, like, if I don't have a skill and it's a skill that I want, I'm paying to be in that vicinity so I can learn what I need to learn. But yeah, like, so those people are trading. Then you have people who've been here for over a decade. We're not selling. We're building out a foundation. We have a thesis. We have implemented various degrees and metrics of a Bitcoin standard within our finances, and we are just here. Like, we're buying, we're taking it off exchanges, we're getting it wherever we're getting it. It's going into cold storage and it lives there. And we just look at the number, and then sometimes it looks great, and then other times it's depressing. But we don't sell. Yay Finance boost says network TVL to 60 million. I'm not on that network. I've heard about it. Kind of feel like I might have missed the boat on that. Don't have any say. So I'm not in that ecosystem, and I might have to look now that I'm looking for other income opportunities, and we might have to make some shuffles if there's action over there. New Solana ETF filing surface in the US. As a Solana holder, as a Solana user, I'll buy it when BlackRock's on the list. Like, I just don't. I got no faith in this. It'll benefit me if it goes through. Maybe I don't know. We got this ETF for Ethereum getting ready to come through, and the market is terrible. So, I mean, at this point, the market's not fluctuating or moving in any type of logical, because we have a bunch of good news. We have a lot of good news here. And the market is down the worst we've seen it so far in a hot minute as far as like dips go. But, you know, that's cool. I'm happy that everybody's filing for it. I'll believe it when BlackRock asks, because the government does not say no to them. That's my metric for getting even remotely excited about it. I probably will be adding a few more Solana tokens to the holdings for this year for the bull run, because, I mean, we're in a dip right now, and this is probably as good as it's going to get. I'm happy I got in when I did. I didn't get in when I should have. We'll just call it that. Arbitrum DAO invests $35 million into on-chain real-world assets. Arbitrum trying. They're getting beat up on, but Arbitrum, that's an active chain. A lot of stuff going on over there. I love it. Love that chain. I use it. It's great. Crypto ATM installations approach record highs. Agreed. There's one at the little rinky-dink gas station up the street from my warehouse. And it was crazy. Like, I walked in there, I was like, is that real? Like, oh, wow. Like, they got a Bitcoin ATM in here. Like, they're starting to pop up places. Chainlink activates data streams on the Avalanche network. Chainlink, infrastructural. It's one of my 3 long-term holding positions. I love me some Chainlink. They are always moving in the background. If there is any type of data linkage between the real world or another blockchain, it's probably going through Chainlink. Don't sleep on it. Over 3 billion in crypto tokens are set to unlock in July. And I mean, they've set the stage to scare those people out of the market. I find that very interesting. Like, we're starting this month rough as can be. And they're setting the stage so that when these unlocks come, these people are going to think the party's over. They're going to be like, man, at least I got in for this amount of the coin at whatever price. And then as these unlocks come in, they're going to dump. They're setting it up so that they're going to be incentivized to dump, obviously, because they want to run you out of your positions. They don't want you to experience the bull run. They want you to sell now. I'll tell people straight up, the selling now, unless you absolutely need to, if you were gambling with the rent money and you're just getting out by the skin of your teeth, I understand. But like, if you're actually scared that the market is over at this juncture, you're going to be kicking yourself in the hindquarters later on down the road, because you're going to miss out on a lot. Tezos blockchain developers have unveiled a new roadmap called Tezos X. It's another corporate. Tezos is a corporate project. I don't follow them. I don't invest in that. That's cool that they're doing something. I mean, it's a bull run, so a bunch of people say they're doing stuff. We'll see what they ship. When they ship, that's when we can revisit this if they make it back up, because Tezos X is just amazing and people love it. Like, I hope it works out. I hope it works out for the people that invest in it. Me personally, not my cup of tea. I'm not interested. And yeah. So we tapped that, got that out of the way. As far as winding down and closing comments, you gotta stay active and aware, and understand that at this point in the game, with the bull run, this happens every year. They want to run as many people out as possible. You will sell now, and then you're going to come back in and you're going to buy in during the bull run. For those of us who've been sitting here just waiting, just sitting on our hands, buying still, getting a little bit, trying to lower these buy-in rates as much as we possibly can. We're going to still be here, and we're going to be reaping the rewards. And like, you guys are going to come back in for the run. And that's not to say that you won't make anything doing that strategy. It's just, you're coming back in a worse position than what you would have had you just consistently bought until it was time to actually sell off, unless you need the money. Like, everybody's got their reasons for why they do what they do within this market, and I understand that. A lot of people are coming out of desperation, and if you're here out of desperation, you don't like seeing red numbers, period, because you're desperate. You needed to get rich tomorrow, and now your position's down 45%. You don't know what to do with that. You gotta hold that L. It's not good. So I do understand. But when you come back, when it's running and it's hot, just understand that you're not getting what you could have got had you had the patience. But a lot of people don't have the patience. They don't have the temperance for the type of volatility of this market. So until next week, folks, if you like the video, definitely give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, give me your thoughts down in the comments, because I do reply to my comments. I reply to darn near all my comments. I'd say I've got an above 90% reply rate for my comments. So like, let's have the conversation down there. What do you guys think? What is everybody buying? Did you sell? It's going to be the overarching question. Did you sell? I want to know. Until next week, folks. It's your boy Reckless Radenero, and we are out. Peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, it's time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Oh.